Okay, so hello everyone. So yesterday we were able to discuss the introductory information about HTML and some basic info about PHP. So now we're going to discuss PHP syntax. A PHP script is executed on the server. That's why we installed SAMP. Okay, so because it's executed on the server and then the plain HTML result is sent back to the browser wherein we can see the output of our PHP script. So SAMP stands for Cross-Platform Apache, which is our web server, MySQL is your database, and the languages which are PHP and Perl. Okay, so going back. Okay, so the basic PHP syntax. A PHP script can be placed anywhere in the document. So later on, I'm going to show you a very simple demo about the PHP syntax so that we can understand how it works. And a PHP script, remember that it starts with open angled bracket and then a question mark, PHP, and it ends with a question mark and a closing angled bracket. Okay, and between those tags or opening and closing tags is your PHP code. And the default extension for PHP files is .php. So for HTML, that's .html, and for PHP, that's of course .php. And a PHP file may normally contain HTML tags and some PHP scripting code. Okay, so this is one example of a simple PHP file with a PHP script that uses a built-in PHP function which is echo. Echo is like printf in your C programming, okay, or cout in your C++. That is to output the text hello world on a web page. Okay, so sige, we have to create a very simple PHP file. So you go to SAMP. Again, you have to start Apache, and of course you may or may not start MySQL, but common practice is that we just have to start MySQL. Okay, and then you go to C. You look, you go to C folder. And then you look for SAMP, and then we are going to store our files in htdocs. Okay, so remember this one, htdocs. So let's create, I'm going to delete this one. Okay, we're going to create a new folder. So let's call it PHP beginners. Okay, so inside your folder, inside the htdocs, is where all our PHP files, images, JavaScripts, and all will be stored for one project. Okay, and then you go to brackets. So I'm just going to drag it here. As you can see, we have our folder here, and we're going to add a new file. Okay, so let's call this index.php. Okay, so when we run index.php, so supposing we're going to create an HTML file here. Okay, and then head title, let's say PHP beginners. I'm running out of titles. Okay, and let's say we put an H1. Let's say whatever, PHP beginner again. Okay, so and then let's put a paragraph here. Paragraph, which is we're going to look at for some sample paragraphs of lorem ipsum. Generator. Okay. Okay. So let's save this one. And when we try to run this one in live preview, okay, so it will show, it will run your your HTML. Okay, however, we're going to need some of the PHP codes. So now let's put some PHPs here. Again, open and then question mark, PHP, question mark, and then close. Okay, so in between we can write our PHP code just like what the example here says. Okay, so it starts with open PHP and closes with closing PHP. Okay, so and then your code goes here. So for example, we're going to echo something. Let's echo welcome to PHP BSIS 2B. Okay, and don't forget the termination or the full stop, which is semicolon. And then save, and wrong spelling, wrong. Okay, so as you can see, we have our output here. Okay, so this is how we echo, or this is how we produce an output with PHP. Okay, so how about if we want to use some variables, for example. Okay, so for the use of variables starts with an identifier, which is $, and the variable name. For example, COVID info. Okay, so we're going to write something about COVID here. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, so now we're going to make use of this variable inside our HTML. For example, we have another paragraph here. Okay, inside this paragraph, we want to show this information inside this paragraph. Okay, so we just have to call it. Remember, you can call PHP scripts anywhere in HTML. You only have to provide it with PHP, for example. Okay, and then you echo. What do you want to echo? So you look for the variable name, and then you put it here, and then you put a full stop. Okay, and then let's check. Okay, so it's on the second paragraph. Okay, so PHP case sensitivity. In PHP, keywords such as if, else, while, echo, classes, functions, and user-defined functions are not case sensitive. Okay, so supposing if I type echo here, if I change echo into this one, okay, it would just remain the same. Okay, or it will just remain as is. It's because, again, by definition, keywords such as these are not case sensitive. Okay, so just yes, this example. Okay, so with case sensitivity, we already know that keywords are not case sensitive. Okay, so let's proceed to the next lesson. This is already the second, or yes, this one. Oh, this is just a review. Hello world. You can change this one also too. You can change also this greeting into a hello world if you want. Okay. So we can also use print or printf. Alternatively, you can also use print, just like this one. But customary, we already choose one, and echo works just fine. So I think we can use just one output code, such as echo. But if you want, you can also use print. For example, let's say print. We're going to write Merry Christmas. And save. And oh, sorry. Okay, so as you can see, it printed Merry Christmas here. Okay. So what else? What else are in here? Hello world or printf. You can also use printf just like in C programming. You can also use a \n for new line, opening tag and closing tag. So again, just remember that with PHP we start with an opening tag and a closing tag. Okay, just like this one. This is a very good explanation. A PHP script can be written anywhere. Again, it can be written anywhere. Just like our example here, we have a PHP script outside or at the beginning of our HTML, and we also have PHP script inside our HTML. I forgot to write the body here. Maybe just write body. Okay, and then closing. Okay, and save. So echo is a built-in function of PHP used to display one or more strings. Okay, so echo is a keyword. Hello world is a string you want to print or anything you want to output. And we have to provide a full stop, which is a semicolon at the end. Okay, so you may use a parenthesis with the echo function as echo, but it is not compulsory because echo is not really a function. Okay, and this is the closing tag. Pares-pares na sila permi. All code in PHP is written between the starting PHP and ends with a closing PHP. However, the closing tag of PHP code block at the end of file is optional. The code would still execute properly even if the closing tag is missing. Okay, semicolons. Statements in PHP must be terminated with a semicolon. That is why at the end of our statements here, such as this line, And this line, as you can see, we have semicolon. Okay, and in here also. Okay, and even inside the HTML, the PHP inside your HTML, we close it with a semicolon or a full stop. So just as sentences in English must be terminated with a period, just as sentences in English can span several lines, so can the statements in PHP. Okay, so you can use Spanish spaces and new lines between the start and the end symbol of a PHP program as you wish, and it helps beautify your code. Just as spaces are used to align the text printed on the pages of a book. Okay, so in a while we're going to have a short quiz, so I think you have gained some knowledge about our lesson today. Okay, see ya. Thank you for listening.